With Palantir breaking $100 and tariff moving the markets. We're going to be talking about all the news you need to know about the stock market, show you guys some supports and resistance, and the market overall outlook. So with that being said, some of the biggest news that's coming out, we had Palantir breaking some new highs, insane highs of $100, and the US 10% tariffs on China. Basically, China kind of responded with its own tariffs. We also had Canada and Mexico kind of pausing tariffs for 30 days with a good agreement, showing that the markets went up with that. But with that being said, we got some kind of some bad news a little bit. But after the tariffs came out with China, they are investigating people like Google, which is Alphabet, and Intel also. So keep your eyes on those stocks. But we do got earnings for Google coming out today, so keep that on your mind. So we got Google coming out. AMD is growing a lot. We're going to be looking at that stock a little bit later. Chipotle and some other stocks after earnings or after close, sorry. And then before it opened, we had PayPal. PayPal did drop a lot. Spotify, they beat expectations of subscribers. And we do got Ferrari, which they basically raised higher. And then the nets of 115K in profit per car, which is insane. Also, Fox plans to roll out its own streaming service. So keep that on your mind if you guys are invested in the Fox. And we did get our job numbers. Basically, it's declining and more than analysts has expected in December, hitting the lowest level since September. With that being said, this can really show that rate cuts might come back just from this article. With that being said, some most active stocks, we got Palantir, which we're gonna be talking about later. Broke that $102,000 or sorry, broke that $100 level, 22% up. Nvidia, we're seeing Nvidia kind of showing some strength now. We got Rigetti, of course. You already know it moves up and down, so you see it up and down a certain amount of percentages. With that being said, for tomorrow, we do got some employment data, trade deficit data, S&P data, PMI basically, ISM services, and we got some other things too that could move the market. So keep that on your mind. And for tomorrow, we do got Uber before open, Disney, Toyota, some auto manufacturers, Qualcomm, Ford afterwards. So keep that on your mind. But with that being said, let's look at some price levels and data. So yeah, so Amazon's still strong, up 2%, Meta 2%, Google 3%. We're gonna be talking about Google before earnings. They're looking pretty bright. Apple up 2% and Nvidia up 2%. So we've been seeing some strength with Google overall, and we do got earnings. And people are honestly pumping this stock up. We got one that has a strong buy, and I think the price target is like 270, I think. And there's another one that got dropped down to 245, but that's still higher than the price target, and that one is a hold. But with that being said, I think earnings is going to go well, and you're going to see it go up. Also, the call options for this stock is honestly overpriced right now, which means people think it's going to go up even more. So keep that on your mind. With that being said, we are going to be retesting this 206 level, going to the upside, 206.5. Basically, we're going to be retesting that. We did bounce off before, but we're going to be retesting that 206 level once again. If we break past that, 207, 209, 210. And then keep in mind that it's 1 hour before close right now. So you never know, but after close, we might see it spike all the way up to that 215 to 220 level. And or if it doesn't beat expectations and we're kind of just overhyping it, it can drop down maybe or definitely below that 200 level. We might see it at that 195. So keep that on your mind. Another one is indeed Palantir. We have been pretty strong. We've still been kind of strong decently. We did get some bad news with that with the China tariffs kind of bouncing back, like China retaliating. With that being said, it did kind of fill the gaps back up, and we did hit that 107, almost that 107 level. We bounced off, kind of almost retested, but we're kind of showing some bearish trends, but kind of bullish. We are below the VWAP, but at the same time, I think we can break past it and maybe even see 110 with this stock. With that being said, to the upside, I will look at 106, 108, 110, and then 114. To the downside, I'll look at that 102 level first. If it breaks below that, look at that 100 level. It's going to be key because if we break below that, we might see some more bearish momentum to the downside. But Palantir is doing pretty good. Everybody's eyes is on this one, and I do recommend just keeping this one on your radar at least. Next, we're going to talk about is AMD because they got earnings also. That being said, we have been pretty strong for the past 2 days, honestly. We've been dying down a little bit with the bad news, but we kind of been building up. And especially if you see that China news, we kind of bounced down below, but then it filled the gaps back up, and we're even going up even higher. With that being said, I do recommend looking at that 120 level. If we break above that 120 level, we can see even more. But with that being said, if earnings is good, we might see the stock go up to that 125 and continue up. And or if we see it go down, we can see it at that 115 to that 110 level and going down even more, breaking new lows. So keep that on your mind. Be very, very careful investing into this one. That being said, Tesla has been kind of up and down today. With that being said, I do recommend that to just be patient with this one. We might have a breakout soon to the upside or to the downside. With that being said, to the upside, I'll look at that 390 level, and then going up to that 395 to that 400 level is going to be key. If we break past that 400 level, we can see that 405 level and maybe even retesting that 420 level, which is key. To the downside, if we do get to the downside, I do recommend looking at that 384 level, 382, 380. 388 or 378, sorry, 375, and then breaking below even more because we did kind of get a bounce off of that. But with that being said, breaking down below, we might even see it down to that 370 level. So keep that on your mind. NVIDIA is another one that's been kind of strong at market open. We got that 121 push. We did get some good news with that. But with that being said, we've been falling ever since. So with that being said, we are looking pretty bearish, but I think it's still going to be pretty strong. And I think the minimum that we can get out of the stock is maybe 116 again, but I do recommend just being patient with this one. But to the downside, I will look at that 118 level. We break below that 118, 117, and then finally that 116 is going to be key. And if we break below that, we can even see it go down even more. I think what can really push the stock down is that I think Trump is meeting up with China basically to talk more about the tariffs, and if it goes bad, we can see it drop even more. I think China makes up like 15%, 15 to 16% of NVIDIA's revenue. So keep that on your mind. But with that being said, to the upside, do recommend looking at that 120 level once again. If we break above that, 121 is going to be key because we bounced off of that before. And we kind of bounced off the 120 level a little bit. But above that 121 level, I think we can see 122, 125 is going to be next. And then we might even break up to that 130. But I think with that being said, we can, if we get good news with that meeting, we can do pretty decent, I guess to say. But we do got earnings coming up soon, or not really soon, but like in like 20 days. With that being said, SPY overall, we got a little double top forming right now, and we did fill the gaps from the recent sell-off. With that being said, I am kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of bearish but bullish at the same time, 50-50 neutral with this one. We are kind of, I feel like this is like the middle point, so you can really lose money both ways depending on where you go. So I do recommend having your patience with this one since we did make highs of 610 previously. So 602 isn't really that high right now. But with that being said, just depends on how news goes with the tariffs, honestly. Tariffs kind of moving the stock. But with that being said, to the downside, I'll look at it at that 601 level, breaking below that to that 600 level, maybe even seeing 599 to 598 once again. But to the upside, I do recommend looking at that 602 level. If we break above that 602 level, see 603 and then maybe even 605. We did see 602 earlier, but we kind of bounced off of it, and we bounced off of it twice, as you guys can see. So maybe a little retest of that 602. We can either break above it or break below even more, maybe even to that 600 level. So keep that on your mind with SPY. Next, we're going to be talking about is Apple. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but with that being said, I do recommend having patience with this one too. I'm kind of both ways with this one. I just want to see how it reacts with that 235 level and then even that 233 level because we kind of bounced off of it. But to the upside, 233, 234, 235, of course. And if we break above that, we might even see 240 in the future. And then to the downside, I will look at that. I will look at that 231 level, 230, 229, and then break it down below even more. But I think for stocks like this, I think we can make a breakthrough to the upside. I think everybody's just waiting for that China news to, I mean, if we get positives, I think we can continue to the upside. And if we get negative, we'll see the stock die down a little bit. We did see it down at that 230 and then earlier open up at that 226. So if you do get bad news, we might see it down at that 226 level once again. With that being said, I do want to say be cautious because they sell iPhones in China and this tariff can bring their revenue down. And that's kind of what people are looking at. But with that being said, have fun today trading. Hopefully you guys made some money. Comment down below some of the stocks that you guys are looking at. Join the Discord. And I got some links to Robinhood and Coinbase. If you do a Coinbase one, you have a chance to win $100,000 in Bitcoin. And you get some free stocks with Robinhood. Thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.